Hey folks, welcome to another video on 67 Mustang and the process of rewiring. As I said, I'm going into a lot more detail than I've seen on other channels just because of the effort it takes to really rewire the whole car. I've been very surprised at the total amount of wire that these old cars have. I can only imagine doing something like my wife's 2016 Mustang or my F-150 that has all the bells, whistles, gadgets, and stuff that a modern car has. But today I've been working on getting the old rear harness out. I've actually already pulled it out. As you can see, grab it here, with all this spaghetti. So we've got a bunch of connectors. We have obviously tail lights, reverse lights in here, two of those obviously because one on each side. We've got the fuel gauge sending unit wire here. This also connects to the dome light. Now, well, I'll show you that in a minute, but it goes to the dome light as well. It also has a ground in here, which goes into where the trunk latch is. So, but I pulled the old harness out. You can see the insulation on it was pretty shot. Not surprised there. But anyway, so let me show you how this thing comes out, right? We'll talk about it and then kind of my plan for putting the new one in. Okay? So with that, let me get you in up close and personal with the car and show you how I pulled this old harness out. Okay, so we're in the car looking towards the front, and you're thinking that's weird. But the actual harness, the rear harness itself, actually runs in this tray right here along the driver's side, and then comes up through where the A-pillar is. And ultimately, this connector right here is where that's going to all plug into. Right? So it follows this channel all the way back where it disappears into here, into whatever this part is called, the door jamb, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm not a mechanic. So turn around now. So it then follows through here, comes out here, up around the wheel well here, and then, from what I can tell, back up through that little triangle hole right there into the trunk. Okay, so what I've done, I actually didn't have to pull all of this out to pull the old harness out, but to put the new one in, because I didn't think to run any sort of string or lead on to be able to pull it back through. I went ahead and I pulled out the old rear seat and pulled out this interior panel that goes over here as well. It wasn't that hard to get this panel here out. I had to undo, let's see, only a couple of screws. So I had one screw up here that goes with the rear deck lid. And then there was a screw here right below where the window crank is. And of course you have to take the window crank off, right? And then, which I already had out, there was a screw down here. Now that was the only ones I had. I don't know if there's supposed to be any others, but I'm glad I took this off because I noticed this is kind of rusty, and clean that up. I also noticed that I have a little bitty crack up there that I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with. I had noticed from underneath. I think I can just weld that shut because the rest of this seems pretty solid, so I don't see any reason in doing that. But anyway, so like I said, going back now into the trunk. Okay, so we're here in the trunk, and back up there is where that triangle is. It comes over that hump here. You can see that this wire is still here. This is the one that goes to the dome light. I am going to just patch in. I'm not replacing that because it's going to run up through the headliner, and the headliner of this car is in really good shape. I have no desire to take it down, or try to trace wires through it. So I just made sure I've had plenty of extra wire here to connect into the new harness. Okay, so anyway, that harness comes down, runs down in through here until you get back to the taillight assembly here. And it plugs into, obviously you got the light that goes in there, and then you've got the light for the reverse lights. This is brand new because somehow I had lost the original one, so I got new reproduction taillights. So this is good wiring, I'm not replacing it. Then if you look up under here, you can see a tab, a tab, a tab, and so on going across. These are attached to the rear, well, that rear panel has the light and all that stuff. It seems to be part of it. You just bend those out. I used a flat blade screwdriver or a pair of pliers to bend those out. Then the wires pass through here under the trunk release, come out here, back up. You're going to have a lead that runs down to here. This is where the license plate light goes through, and there's a little wire grommet there to hold that. Should be a grommet that goes in there too. Again, we have more tabs going to this light assembly here where the tail light plugs in, and again the reverse light on this side. Okay. The other wire you're going to have is the one that goes out this hole down here. That is for your gas, was it gas tank level sensor, whatever. Anyway, that's got to go through there. The kit has a new wire and a new grommet for all that. Okay, you can still see there's the new gas tank I put in when I first got the car started. See, I've got some cleaning of some surface rust to do back there too. Which I'm probably going to go ahead and do before I start running the new harness. Now, my plan is to use my wire fish up there, the orange thing, and tape the end of the new harness to it and run it down and push it through, and then guide it back through all the original channels until I get it up to here. Actually, it's going to go the other way because it's terminated with a big plug that end, but I'm going to use that to guide it through and out the way it's supposed to go. So that's going to be my plan. It should be pretty straightforward and simple. I'll do it that way after I do some cleanup in here. Get some of that rust stuff taken care of really quick, and then I'll start running the wire through. So I'll let you know how it goes, and we'll see you when I get done. Okay, folks, we're back, and through the magic of video, I am done running the wire harness to the rear. So, a couple of things I want to point out and show you. So, let's see here. I'll get back in here in the car, and that's fun. So, got the wire plugged up all in there. You can see the plugs. That's all tucked away nicely. The big plug you see hanging there is for the light switch I had put in. But anyway, so I got it, and that wire, I don't know what you call it. Anyway, the wire feeder, guide ear, puller through things worked like a champ. Really helped. So I fed it through here, so it came out here, then was able to tie the wire harness to it, pulled the harness through. Now I went ahead, and you can see this is all taped up with electrical tape like the factory was done. Went ahead and did that in addition to using zip ties. A couple of reasons. One, this goes through here, it may rub there, it also may get water or something down here, so I figured that would help further protect the wiring. I know it's already got insulation on it, so it may not have to deal with that. But anyway, so I taped it up all the way through this channel. Now, this is where it got a little interesting. So when we come back here to where the back side of the door frame is, heading towards the trunk, trying to get it through here and figure out where it needed to come up through in here was a bit difficult. I'd already taken the panel off here, but I'd left the vapor barrier, water barrier, whatever that piece of paper that was there. I had left it on, and I tried to just feed things through here where my finger is. Well, what I found is that right about where my finger is here, there's a piece of metal that goes straight down into this part of the car. So you can't easily run the wire through there. That's not how it works. What I did find, if you look down in there, is there's a hole. See that in there? That's where I think the wire runs. Now, if I'd been smart and taken the stuff apart before I pulled the old harness out, I would have probably known that, but I didn't. So yeah, there is that. Okay, so a hole there, which runs through, and then you can kind of see through maybe, oh, I can see. Well, it runs into this little hole right there. Right, there's the hole. You see it back there, which then feeds down to here. So I ran it through there, and then this is the harness, right? And now I figure this cutout right here is for the wire. Best I can tell, because there's no other way for it to really go, right? And then it runs up along the wheel well and then through the hole I showed you earlier, right? So got that all run through, and I have checked to make sure my window, back window, wheel roll down, it's not obstructed at all. I did find some rust back in here, so I did a little sanding and sprayed some rust inhibitor. It's all primary surface rust, nothing all the way through, so I did get that sprayed in there. Probably need to hit some of this over here too, but anyway, I am surprised how much the wheel well here is like bare metal. No primer, nothing. So anyway, let's go back to the trunk now. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to day 2 of installing the new rear wire harness. It's day 2 because, one, I ran out of time yesterday, but also because, well, everything I told you about how to route the new harness once you get past the door was wrong. So we're going to stop all that. Let me show you how it's really supposed to be done, okay? Okay, so everything up to this point was good. It's when we get into here that I was very wrong. So I had told you to kind of run it through that hole and then out through this and then up through there. Yep, no, that's not how that works, because the panel, if I can get it, that goes right here will not fit if you have the cable running up like that. It's just too thick. So let me get a little light down in there. I don't know if you can see the cable, right? So there's the cable coming out of the hole. Well, what you got to do, it's not the easiest shot, but you actually have to run it underneath the mechanism for the rear window that keeps it out of the way. And then it runs up inside there, up in, I'm not sure, let's see if I can, let's do this. Okay, so flipping the camera, let's see if I can, anyway, it runs up through there, through that hole right there, up into the trunk. And then, as I get myself out of the back seat, hey, there's my wife's Mustang again. Pretty car. Then you can see it runs down this side of the wheel well from the hole back up there. And then for right now, I just have it like dragged out here. But that's the proper way to run that. So everything I told you up to that point, forget it. So now I'm going to start or continue working on the rest of it. You can see I've already put on, this is the connector for, not sure with the sun there if you can actually see that, the driver's side tail light. And I've got run that across. I've already got the what they call the pigtail set up for this side for the most part. I did go, although the instructions don't say yet, I have gone in on some of these and tried to solder them if I had any question about, and I'll probably solder these too, about those connections just to make sure. Anyway, I'm going to get back at it. Just wanted to show that, yeah, I messed up. Okay, folks, so I think I'm pretty much done. I know I got a couple of little minor things I need to take care of in here, but pretty much all the wiring to the rear is done. So I've got, again, it's coming down in the right location. This I've got here is the connection to my dome light. So I've got that done. Following it up over here. And again, I know I've got to pretty this stuff up, but I've got the connection set up here for the tail light. And I've got the reverse lights here. So that comes up. And then we run everything, let it run it back here. And again, all of this side is the same. Again, I've still got to pretty it up, and I haven't finished connections because I'm waiting for my wife to get home. I left my additional electrical tape and some additional connectors in her car. Now, I say additional connectors. I'm using, for the backup lights, I'm splicing in these original style connectors. As I said, the kit comes with connectors that you can use, as you'll see here from the instructions, right? They do have all of these to the backup lights. If you want to use it, I opted for the original style connector because, as I said, these are brand new reverse lights, and I didn't feel like cutting off connectors on those and the other. Anyway, it just seemed stupid to me. So I got some original connectors to do. So with that, I'm going to call this done. So really the furthest I've made it on pretty much any harness part so far, I guess, because I still got the whole front light harness I haven't tackled just yet. Going to get into that. And there's a lot of little things. Still have to get the blower motor, heater core, or heater box all in here and get it wired. Haven't dealt with the transmission and the neutral safety switch and the wires that actually cause the backup lights to come on. Got to do that. And of course with the heater box, then I've got all the heater controls and things. But it sounds like a lot. I've done a lot. Well, as I said, there's a lot more wiring in these cars than you thought. I'll probably make this the last Rewire video as far as individual parts go. I'll probably do one more that's kind of lessons learned and a general wrap up with that. So anyway, please, if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, like to keep following what we do here on trying to bring this old 67 Mustang back to life, or well, I guess we already brought it back to life, but you get what I mean, right? Get it back where it's more roadworthy and whatnot. You know, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit notifications, and all that good thing. So, and if you have ideas, comments, whatever, as I said, I'm not a mechanic by trade, so any helpful hints, tips you've got would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks.